An absolute demolition, 59-13. On the surface, Oregon's win over Montana State looked like the perfect start to the season. But if you think a blowout against an FCS team tells the whole story, you're missing what really matters. We're going to break down what the dominant performance actually revealed about the Ducks' biggest strengths and the potential red flags that could define their entire season. My name is Zach with the Sports Corner at Choose Adventure Media, and let's get into it. Look, everyone saw the final score. It was a rout against a team Oregon was supposed to handle easily. But in these Week 1 tune-up games, it's not about the final score, it's about how you win. This wasn't just about getting a W. It was about answering the big preseason questions and starting to forge an identity. And Oregon did exactly that. While it's easy to get hyped, a closer look at the film shows us what's real, what's promising, and what still needs to be proven before we can seriously talk about a run at the Big Ten title and the college football playoff. Alright, let's start with the offense, because the biggest takeaway was its near perfect balance. The Ducks piled up 506 total yards, with a near even split between the run and the pass. That's not just a stat line, that's a statement. This offense refuses to be one-dimensional. The Dante Moore era kicked off with some serious poise. In his first start, he looked confident and sharp, finishing 18 of 23 for 213 yards and 3 touchdowns. But it was his command of the offense that really popped off the screen. He knew exactly where to go with the football, like on that key third down where he escaped pressure and hit his running back for a 50-yard gain. Even better, he spread the ball around all over the field. You had guys like Malik Benson and Gary Bryant Jr. getting into the end zone, while true freshman Jordan Davison announced his arrival with 3 rushing touchdowns. That kind of distribution makes the offense a nightmare to defend. When everyone's a threat, you can't just key in on one guy. Now let's pump the brakes for a second. This was against Montana State, a very good FCS team, the defending Big Sky champs, but still an FCS team. The offensive line was incredible, giving Dante Moore clean pockets all day and allowing 0 sacks. That's flawless execution, but they weren't exactly facing a Big Ten defensive front. How will that unit hold up against the monsters in the trenches at Penn State or Ohio State? That's the million-dollar question. And while Moore looked like a future star, he still has to prove it against top-tier competition. He was never rattled and never had to lead a comeback drive with the game on the line. He ran the game plan to perfection, but the real tests are still ahead. So while the offense absolutely earned an A+, it came with the difficulty level set to easy. The foundation is there, but the real stress tests are coming soon. That brings me to the defense, and this is where it gets really interesting. The biggest question mark for Oregon coming into the season was stopping the run. Well, they gave us a pretty loud answer. They held Montana State's vaunted rushing attack, one of the best in the FCS, to just 46 yards on 27 carries. That's a measly 1.7 yards per carry. That's not just good, that's called suffocation. Guys like junior Amari Washington were borderline unblockable, showing a blend of quickness and power that suggests the defensive line could be a real strength this year. However, just like on offense, there are still some unknowns. Because the run defense was so dominant, the secondary never really got challenged by a complex passing game. This is a unit that lost key players to the NFL and is counting on young, athletic guys to step up, like Brandon Finney Jr. and Ife Obadegwu. They looked fast and disciplined, but they're going to face far more sophisticated aerial attacks once conference play starts. The early signs are incredibly positive, but their ability to lock down elite receivers will ultimately decide this defense's ceiling. So, what does a 59-13 beatdown actually mean? It means Oregon's floor is incredibly high. They proved they have the talent and focus to dominate the teams they're supposed to. The performance confirmed the offense is both balanced and explosive, and the run defense looks like it could be a legitimate team strength, not a weakness. We also saw that the team's young talent is ready to contribute right now, which is a massive advantage over a long season, especially with the new 12-team playoff. This win sent a message that the Ducks aren't rebuilding, they're reloading. They look every bit the part of a top 10 team with championship aspirations. But this was just the preview. The win doesn't punch their ticket to the playoff, but it proves they have all the pieces. The real question is whether this high-powered machine can maintain its edge when the competition ramps up in the weeks ahead. That blowout over Montana State was the perfect opening chapter. It showed us the blueprint for what this 2025 Oregon Ducks team can be: a balanced, deep, and defensively stout contender. The potential for a special season in Eugene is clearly there. Now, it's all about whether that potential holds up when they face the best of the best. What was your biggest takeaway from the game? Are you sold on this defense, or do you still have some concerns? Do you think Dante Moore can lead the Ducks to the promised land? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching. My name is Zach with the Sports Corner at Choose Adventure Media, and I'll catch you in the next one.